Hey gang, DJ here from PTA. Kind of just want to go over two trades in particular. GameStop and AMC, they both had a nice little pop. Great opportunity to collect some earnings on them. And I want to go over those trades, kind of go over the sentiment and the basis of this video, also to go over the trades, but more so to talk about patience. Why patience is so critical in trading and why the best traders are the best people that are patient when it comes to trading. Um, this is something vital. I think it's one of the key things that most traders don't talk about. It just seems that most traders seem to just go out there and make the money, but in actuality, what they're doing is being patient with their trade and allowing it to set up. That's the key to trading. Is being patient in your trade, sitting on your hands, and then when the opportunity comes, you attack relentlessly because you already have seen this 1,000 times. So your confidence is through the roof. When people talk about the psychology of trading, it really boils down to your patience. And it takes some people a long time. If you're not a patient person, then yeah, you'll eventually chop up your account. So let me go over this process with you so you guys can kind of understand what I was seeing and understanding in this trade. I'm also going to share with you some stuff in the Discord. Our Discord is still open and we're building members, but again, it's understanding what we're seeing, what we're doing, and I like to kind of go over that with you today. So on GameStop in particular, um, remember, I didn't play it on the 22nd. 22nd was this day. Beautiful move. Always look for those moves and what we call the second day continuation. Well, it's been kind of running up all week, or into this week, I should say. Now, one of the key things I want people to understand is this patience that I had to play in this particular trade. So let's go over it. On the 1 hour, you can see here that this stock kind of went up, pulled back, kept going into the new day. So this being the 22nd and this being the 23rd. We had a nice little pull up and a pullback. It didn't give us any confirmation. So now let's go to the 30 minutes so you can kind of see where the confirmation set. Did a 30-minute pullback, which I like, but it broke down. That's not a confirmation. So now I got to wait for another 30-minute pullback. 30-minute pullback, I don't really trade the first hour of the day. The reason being is because that's pretty much when all the back orders and orders from the day before are kind of whipsawed and so on and so forth. So it gives you a really choppy chart. So if you look at this, I mean, it dropped, ran up, slammed. It didn't really give you any confirmation as to where it was going. So I have to wait. I wait till I see the setup I like. Going back to the 30-minute, it didn't give it to us till about 10:30. Just didn't give it to us. We didn't have anything worth looking at until after that time. Now, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to timing. Right here is your zone. This is where I was looking at, was between these two prices. Now, ultimately, most people would say, hey, this is what was going on, and you missed out on the play, you missed the run up to 144. Yeah, that might have been the case, but I like to wait for a specific setup. This is how you become consistent, sticking to a plan. So the trade pulled back. So again, guys, I like 30-minute pullback with a reversal and confirmation. So when I see that on a larger time frame, I'm just waiting for it to set up on a smaller time frame to give me the entry that I need. And pretty much the stock will scream at you at what price it may be. So these are the key areas. It's here and the highest point of the day, part of your pattern. So when I saw that, I went over it. So let's go over the chat and kind of let you know where I was at with things. So first screenshot, and this is from the Discord. No trades as of yet, sitting on my hands. This is at 10:08. So that was about this candle. There was no setup. People was telling me, oh, look at this, and what about this? It's not the setup that I look for. No setup. Next screenshot. Wait on GameStop. Looked like it want to set up in a new hour. It's at 10:40. That was during the pullback. So I was looking at the tape, seeing some key areas that I was looking for to see if buyers was going to step in. That's what I mean about waiting for the setup. Waiting for it to do what it needs to do. You let the trade come to you. You don't chase it. Next setup. GameStop tape slowing down. Pay attention to that 140, 150s area and 144 areas. Now, most people will sit there and say, well, why those areas? Well, that's top of this candle, top of the highest point of the day. Those are key areas. That's where all the shorts are sitting. That's where everybody who's going to get squeezed out probably going to be trying to get out of their positions at. Those are the key areas I like to look for. So let's break this down a little bit further to find your entry. 15-minute. Remember, pullback, reversal, confirmation. So as I go down into the smaller time frames, let's say a 5-minute, you can kind of see it kind of setting up. You got your nice little pullback. You got your pull up, pull back, setting in the higher low swing lows. Then you got your push into your area. Now I took my first trade here at 141. I think it was 141.52 is where I got entry. Let me kind of show you that on the 1 minute because that was a key area. Got in somewhere right here, risking it there. It hit this area, pulled some off. It bounced. I added here. I'm sorry. It bounced, it ripped, and it slammed. When it slammed the second time and held this 141, and it started to creep back up, I added to my position. This happened pretty quickly, and I was in this intense area, so what I did was kind of watched it. And then once I did my next ad, that's when I started kind of communicating about those areas. Because I was too busy trying to pay attention to the price action that was going on. $11:53 a.m. Got that push on GameStop. 144.01 entry. Took some off as well at 207 per share. I'm going to hold the rest. Entry here. And then it ripped. So seeing this pullback, didn't knock out the previous swing low, so I'm going to hold. So this was a nice play because I got a lot of the shares off 149.80s. I got a couple off in the 150.20s. I think the highest point was 150.32 was the highest point I got a sell off at. But again, I wait for it to set up. It's not something that I just took off and, oh yeah, I'm going to just jump in it now. No, you wait for the setup. So here you go to push. You had a 147 push, 150 push. I said a nice move to 150. So the move was there. You just had to wait for it. And a lot of people in the chat was wondering why or how I knew it was going to take off in those areas. The key areas. You wait for it to set up. I watched this happen many times over and over. And again, you may not get the whole move. You may only get $2-3, but this is going to be the safest $2 move you ever make. It's going to be the safest trade that you ever place because you're waiting for it to set up. That's the key. That's the key to having some consistency. It's playing the same trade every time the same way. Now the next trade I want to go over was AMC. Because AMC did the same thing, amazingly enough. Same thing, same day, same type of trade, blah, blah, blah. People say, well, man, this stuff is like, how do you know this stuff? Same thing. When you study charts for a while, you start to see the same stuff over and over and over again. So ultimately, we had this hour, which was a pullback. Remember, whipsaw. That first hour usually a whipsaw, whatever the case may be. I like to wait for it to set up. So right here was my setup. 30-minute pullback. When you have two 30-minute pullbacks, you can pull it off the hour. I like to get it off the lower 30-minute pullback because I like to see that buying pressure. Buying pressure, very simple, price action. This is the low. This was the pullback. This was the reversal. This was confirmation. So that entry was 1934, 1924 area. That's kind of where it set up properly and where you could have took a nice trade. Ultimately, again, I didn't see this trade, but I did hear guys yell about it that understand how to trade, and that's where they typically got in at. One of our traders got in actually. Shout out to Neil, one of our moderators, Trade King. He called this trade from the day before. I think he got in somewhere right here and around that area. So he just been adding to his position, allowing it to kind of manifest and play out the way it's going to play. I know he took some off here, but this was a solid trade. So again, 30-minute pullback, reversal, confirmation. So let's circle down into the smaller time frame so you guys can actually see this. So remember, you had a 30-minute push up, confirmation. So again, what do I like to see? I like to see it bounce, pull up, pull back. And this one gave us an extra little jump, which was great, because if you missed this one and didn't see it, it gave you opportunity to see it here. You zero it down in a 1 minute, you can see it even better. And this is the reason why we use a smaller time frame, just really for risk to reward. I can get a really tight stop and get a really tight risk with a nice reward. So this one being a nice tight risk, I mean, literally you could have got in at there and risk to here, which would have gave you about 20, 30 cent risk. 18.95. Yeah, about 30 cent risk from here to here, knowing that this is the swing low and didn't knock out the previous swing low. So that's buying pressure. Get in here, pull. Just before it even pulled back was 19.90, which was 70 cents. Pulled back, didn't knock out the previous low. It ripped again. We got it up to 21.78. That was a nice $2 move before it even started consolidating and pulling back. Then went sideways for majority of the day and then ripped to 22. So this was a nice, decent move all the way around. See, that was consolidating there and looking for the drop. So guys, like I said, it's one of those things about being patient. Being patient in your trading is what's going to make you successful. If you're not going to be patient, wait for your setup, then what are you doing? You're not really trading. You're gambling. So the biggest thing I tell my clients and people who I mentor and people I talk to in the Discord is be patient with your trade. I sat there literally on the desk, give or take almost 3 hours. But when that time came, I capitalized. Easily seven. I think I averaged out about $7, $7.50 per share on that GameStop move. So it was a really solid move, but basic trading. I just had to wait for it. So guys, as I tell everyone who listen to these videos, man, I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll be sure to kind of wrap back around and look at them. I enjoy helping out and giving information. But like I tell everyone in the Discord and part of our staff, stay steady and stay focused.